Hi, back again, and in this one we'll start to look at the basics of adding content to your new site. So, as I promised before, let's go into my drive and load up all my folders and everything else that I've got saved, and you'll see up here all the different things I've been doing, no big deal. And what we can do is we can go down to my, where are we, my websites folder, click into that. And you'll see down here that Skaves Test 1 is there. And I find this is the easiest way to go back into a site and do the alterations. It's nice and neat, everything's in the same place, and I have got the icon for it there. And I can rename it wherever I like, but why bother? So click onto it and you'll be taken into a new tab, and we got the site up here when it loads. So we got Skaves Test 1 and the nice little background I've put up there, and we're now ready to do something. Now let's do a bit of navigation. On the right-hand side, you'll find that there is going to be a insert button ready for you. Now this is really what you want to look at, because on the middle of it, there is the pages. In other words, oh, is this the only page I need? Probably not. So it allows you to create new pages, and I'll go into that in a separate video. And you can also change the theme. Now, if you change the theme, you can see I've got the simple one, but there are a number of others that Google give you. I don't particularly like them. I quite like the simple, so I stay there. But if you want to, go into Aristotle or the Diplomat or the Vision or the Level or the Impression. There are more coming out apparently, but I've not seen them. But I stay with simple. I quite like it. So go back onto the insert button, and we've got a number of things we can do. I can put text in, I can put images, I can collect from my drive, and I can embed. That one is a whole new area on its own right. I can choose different layouts that I can look at, and I can also look to different things that I can put in, like collapsible text, contents, image carousel, very useful, a button to do something, in other words, go to a different site or whatever, a divider, which is useful, placeholders, and then I can collect from YouTube, my calendar, I can put that up if I wanted to, all sorts of things, and docs. So let's go up to the top and look at the first one, because that's the one I want you to look at mostly, and that is the text box. When I click that, it puts a text box into its own little container. Now, I can put some gobbledygook text in, so let's put some text, test text for me, and put that into the first line. If I click out of it, you can see a faint little line there. That is then containing the text box. Now, if I highlight the text box, whoops, no, let's go back into that one. You can see that I can alter it. And when I do that, I've got little guidelines that come up. So I can click it to any one of those guidelines. I can then pick up that piece of text and I can move it along the box and put it into any area within that container box, so which is very useful. Now, let's do something else, because what I'd like to do is to put a new text box in. And let's put this as being another. So another test text. And you can see there, if I click out of it, I've got two. One in its own container and another one in its own container. Here's where it gets interesting, because what I can do is I can hover over the 9 pins on the 8 pins on that side, click it, and I can drag the container down below the other one. Or I can get this one and I can move it and put it down. So I can make alterations to this very quickly. Now, when I highlight that container, as well as when I highlight this, I can change things. I can get rid of it completely. I can duplicate that section, which is quite useful, or I can change the background for it. I can put standard, which is what it is at the moment. I can put an image into that particular section, or I can emphasize it. And it just gives you a nice little grey background for it. And again, if I want it to come down below, I can put it down below, or I can get this one and move it across. So I've got some text that I've got into that particular one there. Now, for some reason, I particularly want to move this one. So let's highlight this one, and I want to put it into the same container as the one that I've got up here. So if I go in, hover over the top of the pins, hold on to it, and then I can drag it along. But look what happens. I can put it up there. Now, because there's nothing in the container, Google gets rid of the container that it was in, and now I've got it in here, and I can move it along and do what I like with it within that container. So that's very useful. I can also put in an image into that particular area, or I can highlight that particular piece of text and put a link onto it by putting a insert link over the highlighted area. I can make it bold, and I can make it italics if I wanted to. But what I can't do is I can't change the color. That's not available yet. So what happens if I want to make this piece of text here a little bit more than just the font size that I've got? As you can see, there is no way at the moment for me to change the font or the font size. So what I've got down there is the normal change the font character. And if I change that down, it gives me title, heading, subheading, and small. So I can change that into some text for a nice title to a section, and I can drag it out so it comes into one line. And then I can put that underneath that in a new line. So this is really, let's have a look now, see what happens when I drag this out of here and put it below. It creates a new container for me, and then I can put that where I like in terms of how it works. So have a play with that. That is the way that you can add content in. I'll do another video specifically for images and anything else that I can think of that may be useful for you. Okay, thanks a lot. Cheers.